Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today or watching as we are recording this session. Today, we're going to be just giving an overview of how to get started with DocumentCloud. We're going to run through what it takes to kind of get set up with an account, how to manage collaborators, but also how to make the most of that service. We spent the last few years kind of revamping and rethinking DocumentCloud from scratch to make it faster, more stable, and more powerful than ever. And we're really excited to get it in your hands. If you have questions that are not addressed today, please feel free to shoot us a note at info@documentcloud.org, and we're happy to help out however we can. This is primarily aimed at journalists, but as we go on, we are expanding adoption of Document Cloud to other types of users. And so if you have some idea or you're interested in kind of kicking the tires, please just let us know. And we'd love to kind of get your feedback as we continue to improve and roll out the service. Today, I'm joined by Kira Murray, our operations lead, and Dylan Friedman, Document Cloud's lead developer. They're going to be kind of walking you through how the service works. And we're always kind of making improvements. We're also looking for feedback in terms of what's going to be useful to you. So without any further ado, I'm going to hand it off to Kira to kind of give you the nuts and bolts of how Document Cloud works. And if you have questions throughout the presentation, feel free to drop them into the Q&A box at the bottom of the Zoom's info, and we'll try to get to as many as we can. Thank you, Kira.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks everyone for watching and joining. So yeah, I'm gonna do kind of a overview of how the site works from uploading and then, all the way through, editing and sharing your documents. So I'll share my screen. Okay, does that look good? Okay, great. So when you come to this homepage, when you log into Document Cloud, one of the first things you'll want to note is how to do, kind of basic account management. So if you need to change your email address or your password, or if you are, an admin who's in charge of, adding people to your account and managing the people who are in your organization, that is all done through your name here and account settings. So you'll click through there and then click into the organization that you're working within. And this is where you can make changes to your profile here or to the organization through this page here. So if you click under Manage Members, this is where you can invite new users to join your organization, to join the account that you're using. Anybody that you invite here will then have to sign up for Document Cloud and join Document Cloud. And also if people have requested to join your organization, this is where those requests will show up and you can approve them here. So then as far as uploading documents, you can upload them also on the home page here. So you can select the files through here from your computer, or you can drag and drop them from your desktop, whichever you prefer. So I'm going to go in and select. Document Cloud supports many different file types. I believe around 70 different types of files that you can upload. So PDFs, Word documents, spreadsheets, graphics. So there are a lot of options there. So I'm going to select these two. While you're uploading, you can choose the access level of this document or documents. So if you upload them as private, they are only visible to you as an individual. If you choose organization, anybody in your organization can view this document. And if it's public, this document is searchable and viewable to anybody on Document Cloud, and also to anybody that you share it with via publishing an article or sharing the link to this document. Under more options here, you can choose the document language. Document Cloud supports around 100 different languages that you can choose. And when we start uploading these, it's going to use optical character recognition to make the text readable and searchable and selectable. And that's what it is doing when it is uploading and processing the document. if DocumentCloud detects that the file that you're uploading already has searchable and selectable text, it is going to use that information. If it doesn't, DocumentCloud will run its own OCR. If you want DocumentCloud to kind of like do its own sweep and apply its own OCR anyway, that's what you can choose this force OCR option for. So DocumentCloud will do, the best thing for that particular document. You don't have to choose this, but it is an option. This is also where you can update the file name if you need to as well. And one of the biggest priorities of some of the improvements and some of the rebuilding that we've done over the last couple of years has been processing speed and upload speed. So regardless of the size of the file that you're uploading, everything should be processed and OCR'd and uploaded in under a minute. So I'm going to start this upload. Okay, so now it's just doing this second one here. Okay, so those two are all set. Once you've uploaded some documents, the way that you can, group your files together and then either share that group of documents or collaborate with other people on that particular group is through projects. So to start a new project, I'm just going to go here, click New Project. You can add a description if you'd like to. Okay, and then it'll show up on the left sidebar here. I want to add these two documents to that project, so I'm going to select them and select my project through this drop down here. So now you can see they've been tagged with a label that says that they're part of that project. If I want to manage who I want to invite to this project or who can work on and see these documents, or if I want to share this project, I go back to this left sidebar here and go to this edit icon. And this is where I can invite people to join this project. Again, any email address that you add here, that person does have to be on DocumentCloud. And you can choose their level of permission here. So like an admin can do anything that you can do. They can, add and remove documents and people from the project. There's an edit option, and there's also a view only permission level option. And then if I want to share this project publicly or embed it in an article, I can also do that through this view here, and it'll give a preview of what that will look like if I put this into an article or if I publish the link somewhere. Okay, there are also some edits that you can make to your documents from this view. So if you want to make changes to the title, or you want to include relevant articles to this document or things like that, what you can do is select the documents here and go under edit, and you have a couple different options here. So I can add a source to these two documents, I can add a description, or I can add any relevant URLs or articles related to this document. You can also change the permission level and the access to these documents from this view. And if you go under change access, you can change it to public or private. And this is also where you can schedule publication. So you can choose the day and time that a private document will become public. So if it's not ready to be shared yet, you can schedule that share in advance. So that is under schedule publication here. Another really great part of DocumentCloud is the way that you can categorize and label your documents to organize them, and then later kind of search through and analyze those different categories and labels that you've added. So if you want to add some information to these documents, again, you would select them. and go under edit and edit document data. And we do these labels through a system of tags and key value pairs. So for these two, say I want to tag them as reports, I would type that in there. But then I want to get a little bit more specific. Maybe I have, other types of reports and I need to differentiate these. So I'm going to add a key value to this one, and I'm going to say they're reports from 2021. Okay, so now those are all attached to those documents. You can click on them to view anything else with that particular tag or with that key value. And, kind of later on be able to search through, the tags and values that you've added. So if I click on one of these, you can see that that tag showed up in this search bar. So this search bar is used to search through both kind of the external properties of the document, so like the user that it belongs to, or the project that it's in, or the title of the document, but also for the OCR text within that document. So if you look up here, it kind of gives a couple examples of what you can search for. So like for another example, you can search for a particular organization on DocumentCloud and then see, whatever public documents that they have. And then under here, it kind of outlines some of the search formatting that you can use, again, for those different properties, but also for the text within the document. So after this, Dylan is going to kind of go through and show how to use these advanced searches and give some kind of examples of how you can, mix and match, the properties and text searches to really narrow down what you're looking for and analyze your documents. So then if I want to, make edits to these documents, I need to add notes and then, later share them. I'm going to click into one of these here. And I just have like some generic example text in here. So one of the things that you can do from this view is add an annotation. So if you want to add some notes to this, you can click annotate. You highlight the section that you want to annotate. You can give it a title and you can give it a description. And you can also choose the access level of this particular annotation. So a private note is only visible to you. Anybody who has access to this document can view this note if you choose collaborator. And then if you make a public note, those annotations will be visible whenever you share this document. So to your viewer, to your audience, these notes will be included in that publication. You can also add private notes to other people's public documents for your own use. That's an option as well. There's also a redact function. So if this document has sensitive information that I need to remove before I publish it, I can choose redact here, highlight the section that I need to remove, can kind of do as many as you need to. And then it's going to ask you to confirm. Once the redaction is confirmed, the underlying text is going to be entirely deleted and scrubbed from the document and from the site. So if you do need that original version, you just want to make sure that you have a backup copy somewhere before you confirm the redactions. There's also an edit section option. So what this does, it sort of like creates a table of contents and makes it, easy to navigate around maybe a large document when, the information that you need is on a particular page or in a particular section. So for this one, I'm gonna create a section that starts on page 2. So then once I confirm those, it shows up here and I can click on that to easily hop around this document as I need to. And it also shows up here with all of your annotations that you've added. So anything you add here will show up here on the right. If you need to make changes to some of those tags or values that we were adding on the home page, you can do that through here under Edit Tags and Data. And similarly, if you need to, make edits to the source of the document or, related URLs, that is all under Edit Document Info for here. So you can do it from this view as well. And then finally, when you'd like to share this document, you can go into the share option here. So first it's just reminding me that this is a private document and I need to make it public in order to share it. So I'm going to do that. Okay, so I have a couple options here. I can either just share a specific note and specific annotation that I've added. I can share one specific page, or I can share the entire document. So I'll do that one. So it provides you with an embed code that you can put, in an article to publish. It provides a URL. And then this social option, it takes the file name and the URL and drafts a tweet with that information. It'll give you a preview of what it will look like embedded. And then you have some options here of whether you would like this sidebar visible, so with your sections and your annotations there. Yeah, and like Michael said, we are always looking for feedback. We are still actively developing DocumentCloud, so any questions that you have, any feedback, anything you'd like to chat about, this contact us button is right here, and that goes to the same info@DocumentCloud address that Michael shared before, but we'd always love to hear from you. So yeah, that's it for me. I think Dylan wanted to go over a couple things as well.
All right. Hi, everyone. So I'm going to share some of the more advanced features of DocumentCloud, including advanced search features, entity extraction, API documentation, and so on. So let me just share my screen here. All right. Can everyone see that? Okay. So before I jump into that, though, I really quickly want to highlight HTML formatting ability too, because I think that's something that's useful. So in general, if you select a document, you can edit its description. And this is just some text that will display below the document. And this also supports HTML formatting. So if you want, you can include like a bold tag, for instance, or italics. Anything that is supported by HTML for the most part works. If you edit that, it shows up below the document. And if we open this in the document viewer, you can see that that also shows up here. So this can just be useful if you're creating a document and you want to share it and have some useful description along with that. All right, so let's jump into the advanced search features.
I think something is up with the shared screen. I don't think we saw any of those changes come up.
Okay, I'd see it was paused. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
All right, thanks for the clarification. Yeah. Really quickly, let me just show you that again. So yeah, basically the description field is a way to add content below the document. So if you select a document and hit edit description, you can type in some text, like this is my description. And this field supports any kind of HTML formatting. So if you do like a bold tag, then you can see in the preview, my gets bolded. You can also use italics with an I tag. And any sort of tag that HTML supports shows up there. And if you click on this document, now you can all see it. It shows up in the sidebar as formatted text. This is useful if you want to share a document with a description and just show some more context behind the document. This kind of HTML formatting also works in the notes. So in the annotation description, you can have bold text too. So yeah, just wanted to quickly highlight that slightly more advanced feature if you have HTML knowledge or anything like that. All right, so we now jump into advanced search features. So Kira briefly touched on this. I just want to emphasize in DocumentCloud, everything you see is essentially a search. So I'm in my documents and that shows up as a user search with my username. If I were to click on a project, for instance, it shows up as a project search. So in the same vein, if you wanted to sort your documents, you can type in sort : into the search box and you'll see an autocomplete. So let's say I want to sort by page count descending to show the most pages first. I can click on that, hit enter to execute the search, and then you can see I get results that show my documents in descending page order. To learn more about the search features, there's a handy little link right below the search box. Let's just dive into a few of the things. So let me create a new tab so we can just jump between these pretty quickly. So user, project, and organization queries. These are kind of the links that show up when you click on a project or a user, but you can also filter things out yourself. So I can type in organization, I can spell it right, and then colon, and it'll autocomplete all the organizations on DocumentCloud. And as I type more, it'll filter, and I'm in Muckrock, so it's going to show all my documents still. Another useful field is the title. So just if you like type in some text, for instance, if I type in molar, it'll show all documents that contain the text molar. And this search might take a while because it's searching through the full text of everything. If you want to make that more efficient, you can do title : molar if you only want to see documents titled molar. That'll be faster. You can also restrict it just to my documents. So let's just copy that, click on your documents to get to mine, and then paste that back in. Generally, that's a lot faster because it's filtering by my user first. Little things like that are useful to know. In addition, you can do logic in your queries. So you could say, we want the title to be molar, and we want to find the text Trump in the document or something like that. And then that will load. Hopefully that works. And yeah, we can find some molar results that have Trump in them. There's additional fields as well. So Kira touched on the searching by tags and key value pairs. That's all covered here. You can also search by access level. So if I wanted to quickly find the documents that I've made public, I can do access public. Again, we have a nice autocomplete there. I hit enter. And these are all of my documents that are publicly accessible. This little globe icon shows that. You can click on this just to see what access levels are possible. You can also do things with the page count. So this one's pretty powerful if you want documents that are 100 pages or more. You can do this syntax by doing pages : and then number 2 star inside square brackets. So this should show documents that I have that are long. Some of these are errored out, but that's from some earlier experimentation. As the dev of DocumentCloud, I have a lot of test documents in my account. Lastly, I just want to highlight some of these wildcard features. So I think this is where you can get some really advanced queries done. So let's say I want to search within a Mueller report-esque document that I own. And then I also want to search the words. Let's just make sure I get the syntax right. Let's say I want Trump and Mueller to be in the same sentence, separated by no more than 5 words. So I can use a little tilde syntax after a quote with the 2 words I'm interested in. And now, let's see if these results are working. I might have to go into the document. Yeah, let me show you this actually within a document because it works better. So if I hit Control F, it'll expand the search box. You can also click on the search box in the top right. And then I do quote Trump Mueller tilde 5. All right, so now we can see we're getting results where Trump and Mueller are close together. If you click on the page, you can see that the text is highlighted. And so this is a really useful feature, especially combined with things like OCR. So you upload a long document that it doesn't have text in it, DocumentCloud extracts the text, and then you can do these kinds of advanced searches on it. So I'm not going to go into any more, but I recommend looking at this search tips page because it goes through all of this. And you can access that at any time by clicking on this Learn More link. That's right there. All right, so the next feature that I want to touch on is entity extraction. And this is kind of a beta feature right now. But if you hit the checkbox to the left of a document and hit Edit, you'll see an Entities option. It says beta next to it, letting you know. And I've already extracted the entities for this document, so you can see it shows all the results. If you select a document where the entities aren't extracted yet, you'll get a little dialogue saying, here's what's going to happen, hit this button to proceed, and you do that and it'll start entity extraction. Generally, this takes longer than document processing. So for a document that's like over 1,000 pages, it might take like 10 minutes or something, but for smaller documents, it should take around a minute. But I've already done it on the Mueller report here, so we can take a look at some of the results. And you can see like things like organizations, locations, events, all get categorized automatically. There's lots of pages of results that we can paginate through. And there's also filter options. Again, this is a beta feature right now, so the interface is a little crude. We just wanted to get functionality out in the hands of users. But right now it still provides a useful system. So if you click on, let's click on the FBI organization, you can see that it found the text FBI within the document across all these pages, and then it knows to categorize that as the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And if you click on one of these pages, then it'll jump to the actual document on that page, and you can explore further. So feel free to play around with that feature. I think it's a lot of fun, and we're definitely looking for feedback on it. Yeah, so I think those are some more of the advanced things. The last thing I want to touch on is API documentation. So anything that you can do via the DocumentCloud website can also be done programmatically using our application programmatic interface, or API. If you click on the help menu here, you'll get some of our pages where we go into more depth. API documentation really breaks down how to do all this stuff. Generally, you need some knowledge of programming, and we have some example scripts, mainly in Python, for doing things, but anything that can be done on the website, from viewing documents, searching, uploading documents, adding notes, projects, organizations, collaborating, you can see it all here. It's all accessible via the API. And this really enables you to power more complex workloads that you can't maybe do manually on the website, like uploading thousands of documents or changing the tags of certain documents that match certain things. The possibilities are pretty endless. And again, we're always looking for more use cases, and we're really interested to hear what you guys want to develop with it. So that's all I wanted to cover on the advanced features. I think now we can open it up to questions, unless any of the panelists want to add anything else.
Great. So thank you so much, Kira and Dylan. So I think we had our first question was, if you have some private documents or something that might be sensitive, you don't ever want to make that public, can you still use DocumentCloud to OCR large documents? Is this still a good use of that service?
Definitely. So just because there is a workflow for publicly sharing documents and embedding them with DocumentCloud doesn't mean that's the only way you can use it. A lot of people, especially with sensitive investigations, like to keep their documents private. All the features still work with private documents, and no one else will be able to see them unless you explicitly add them. So we definitely support and even encourage that use case.
Great. And then we had another question about entity extraction. Does entity extraction rely on a database of entities in the background? If so, how is that entity database maintained and developed?
So that's a great question. Right now we're using Google Cloud's entity extraction. So they use artificial intelligence to, and their own knowledge base to basically have all these entities. It's not 100% perfect, and I don't think any entity extraction is, but we found it does a pretty good job on most things. And we're still looking into other improvements that can be made with entities in that regard.
Great. Any other questions? Feel free to drop them into the Q&A box or into the chat. All right, wonderful. Well, we're going to be, this was recorded and we are going to post this. So if you think a colleague might be interested, there's places you want to review, please do check us out and we'll send out this video shortly. It looks like there might be one last question. Does the administrator have access to one's documents or are they exclusively viewed by the uploader? That's a really great question. So I just want to make sure I understand this question correctly, but if you upload documents into your own account, do other people in your organization, such as that organization administrator, have access to it? Or is that something that's private just to you? Kira, do you want to field that one?
Yeah, so if you upload documents while working within an organization with the access level of private, they do stay private to you. So that account administrator does not have view access or access to it. It's kind of similar to, working in like a Google Drive or something like that. So anything that you create or upload is private to you until you actively share it with others. And then you can choose, what those other people can do and what, access levels that they have. So that's kind of how I think of it. But yeah, by default, uploads are private. And if you keep it on that option until you actively change it to, organization or collaborator or public.
Great. Well, thanks again so much for attending, for watching this, if you're watching after the fact. And again, we are always looking for feedback and ideas for what we can do to make this a better service. So please reach out to us at info@documentcloud.org, and we're excited to help you out. Have a great day, everybody.
Have a great one.
Yeah.